hear us?
Larry
Gary Helgeson, can you hear us in the boardroom? Thank you.
Also former. All right, I want to welcome everybody to our regular board meeting. Thank you all for joining us, whether you're in person or on Zoom or on YouTube. I say thanks for joining us. I will go ahead and call this meeting to order. And we'll start with our Pledge of Allegiance. So everyone, please rise. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Next, we'll have our roll call attendance. Madam Clerk.
Director Ray,
Here.
Director Kelly. Director Kingman,
Here.
President Levesque here, Director Knapp
Here.
Student Advisor LeBon here, Student Advisor Nichols, Superintendent Sweeney here.
Thank you. Next, we'll have our approval of our regular meeting agenda. We have a motion to approve the agenda as presented. Make a motion, we approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the agenda. Madam Clerk.
Director Ray,
Aye.
Director Kingman,
Aye.
President Levesque,
Aye.
Director Knapp.
Aye. Thank you. The agenda is now adopted. We'll start with our first item of business. It's our recognition and a presentation. We're going to recognize Brenda Flett, our 2024 Northwest ESD Regional Classified Employee of the Year. We'd like to welcome Brenda and Larry Francois, our superintendent of the Northwest ESD 189. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Yeah, and thank you for giving me a couple moments on tonight's agenda to recognize Brenda. So as you indicated, Brenda is being recognized as the Northwest Educational Service District Regional Classified Employee of the Year. And I'm pleased to be joined here tonight by Corey Duskin. Somebody you probably all know, and Corey is a board member of the Northwest DSD and represents this region. So was able to pop over from a block away to be here to recognize Brenda. So what was a little bit unusual about Brenda's nomination is that she actually received 2 nominations. And that's pretty unusual for our Employee of the Year awards. It's nice to get 1, but to get 2. So I wanted to just take a moment to share what was said about Brenda in her nomination. The first one came from Matt Koenigs. And Matt says, Brenda is the single most effective paraeducator I have worked with. She is consistent, patient, caring, and engaged in supporting every student from bell to bell every single day. She helps manage my 2 largest classes, helping to keep students on task and engaged while supporting their academic development. She has been key not only in fostering the growth of my students with an IEP, but also translates for Spanish-speaking students and helps to keep all students focused and on task. Her presence in my room has enhanced the learning of every single student and has motivated me to be a better teacher myself. Imagine if you were a coach of a sports team and just introducing sports to athletes who have never participated in it before. And then suddenly Michael Jordan joins your team, or Usain Bolt. And you have an athlete who transcends the sport and redefines your preconceptions about human limitations. That's what Brenda has done to the paraeducator position here at Post Middle School. She has raised the bar for everyone and has done so in the most humble and loving way. I can't imagine a better choice for this award. And then the second nomination that came in from Brenda was from Stephanie Bailey. And about Brenda, Stephanie says, Brenda is a passionate and committed member of our classroom. She arrives every day with the sole focus of helping students better themselves as students and people. As a paraeducator, Brenda selflessly puts the students first above hers without, students' needs first above hers without hesitation. Her knowledge of a wide range of subjects allows for teachers to trust her with essays, tests, and even large projects. I have had many paraeducators in my classroom, but few have come close to reaching the level of care and pride that Brenda brings with her. Brenda builds amazing connections with students across the middle school level. Her calm and kind demeanor makes students comfortable enough to ask her questions, get feedback, and share stories with her. Brenda is always there when you need her, monitoring the classroom, helping students, and adjusting to the everyday life of middle schoolers' needs. She takes time to get to know her students and builds relationships with them. Each student is seen as an individual with specific needs, and Brenda works tirelessly to help each student meet those needs. You will not find a more loving, focused, student-driven educator than her. And I just wanted to share as well some words from her students. And these are from students in Miss Bailey's class. They say, she has helped me multiple times, may it be about schoolwork or simply providing a charger for me to use when mine is being lent or misplaced. So there you go. This Flett has been very helpful whenever I need to ask a question and you are busy with something else. It can be really nice having another teacher helper in the room when you need help on something. She helps me stay on task with my work since I often get distracted. She helps me keep up with schoolwork. She helps me a lot with things I don't understand. Like with that one topic about getting sources, she helped me by getting some. She has also helped the class a lot by helping students that don't understand and also making sure everyone understands what they're doing. Ms. Flett helped me with some of my ELA work and has made it a little bit easier on me when I was having a really hard time with it. I do get overwhelmed and panic, but once I raise my hand, Ms. Flett is there to help me out. She helps me with assignments and helps me understand them better when I struggle. Ms. Flett helped me with my work, giving me confidence to finish my work, being positive that it was good. She also helped me get different perceptions of certain pieces of works or books I was reading at the time, and her positivity made this whole class stay positive. So those are the words of students. And then just a couple of words I wanted to share from Brenda's own application, some of her personal philosophy about her work. Is that I believe that the most important part of my job is building an understanding with each student. Prioritizing relationships leads to better students, a better me, and ultimately a better school. Our goal is not to cram facts into minds, but to mold healthy, capable people. Remembering that school is only one part of kids' lives is crucial for me. Middle schoolers are still learning to process emotional complexity. Never a more true statement than that. Every student challenges me to reevaluate what I assume to be the best way and go beyond where I am now. They push me to be better, kinder, more patient, more loving, and more open. Kids can tell when someone takes a genuine interest in them. They respond by becoming more willing to learn and act responsibly. Building relationships makes our school a safer, happier, and healthier place. I cannot think of anything that could be more important than that. And those are Brenda's words. So just on behalf of the Northwest VSD and Arlington Public Schools, I just want to congratulate you. I have this very sad certificate for you. There is an actual engraved golden apple coming your way. I think it's stuck in some supply chain hiccups that we're still sorting out, but we'll get it soon and we'll send it over to post.
Well, thank you.
Congratulations.
Picture. Yeah, right in front of where your picture is on the screen. Yeah. And give us, yeah, you need to put it up so we can see that.
Recording.
Yes.
You guys are doing great. Come on.
It'll be fun. Which is
There we go.
birthday.
So go slightly.
Why doesn't the birthday girl
Leslie.
have the principal? They're in this principal.
Yeah. Great. I think we'll try to center on the picture here, so.
Okay.
Leslie, if I'm going in the middle, bring it over a little bit for you. Kind of scoot together a little bit, there you go. Perfect, just like that. Don't knock over the owl, here we go. Nice big, so I'll take a couple different pictures here, look right here, nice big smile, hold it. Nice big smile, one more for insurance. Thank you so much,
All
congratulations.
right. Thank you again for time on your agenda.
You're welcome. Thank you for coming. Thank you, Tori.
Enjoy the rest of your meeting.
Thank you.
All right.
You don't have
You
to
can
stay. if you don't want to.
Not just telling them you could stay.
Brenda, thank you so much for what you do for our kids every day. Thank you. Thanks for making a difference. All right, next up, we'll have our regular meeting minute approval. We have a motion to approve our regular meeting minutes from September 11th.
Make a motion to approve the regular meeting minutes on September 11th.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the regular meeting minutes from September 11th.
Director Ray,
Aye.
Director Kingman.
Aye.
President Levesque,
Aye.
Director Knapp.
Thank you. Those minutes are approved. Next, we have our public comment portion of our meeting. Do we have anyone signed up to speak on? We do not at this time. All right, we will skip next to our consent agenda. Consent agenda has our budget and enrollment report, our personnel report, warrants, a booster club donation from Arlington to the cheerleaders, out-of-state travel, transitional bilingual instruction program, approval of a report of district vehicles assigned to staff on a 24-hour basis, a multi-state vaping lawsuit update, proposed settlement, and do we have a motion to approve the consent?
Move that we approve the consent agenda for this evening's meeting.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda. Madam Clerk.
Director Ray,
Aye.
Kingman.
Aye.
President Levesque.
Aye.
Director Knapp.
Aye. Thank you. The consent agenda is approved. Next up, we have our new business portion of the meeting, and we would like to start with our Arlington PTA Council report. So we'd like to welcome Terry, our president of our Arlington PTA Council, which is near and dear to my heart. Welcome.
Right, thank you. So we haven't really done too much exciting and fun stuff yet because we're still working on the boards. Not everybody has a full board and that's a lot of because they haven't had their first meetings to bring in. But I do have some really exciting news is that when we on my little computer, I have the PTSA last year, Haller School had 35. And this year they are at 40. So that's Yeah, 25 more, that's impressive. Holler, last year they only had 25 and it was like lucky if they ever got 25. But, and then on Post, they went from 71 to 84, and it's the highest of all of the PTAs. KP, they went from 64 people last year, and this is all people that have paid. KP went from 64 to 71, so there's a big one. In Twin Cities, who kind of they're coming along. There doesn't seem to have been a lot last year, and so this year the lady is super energetic, and I'm like, go girl. So last year they were at 32 and they're at 37 this year, and they're still yeah, and the woman doesn't even have a secretary or a treasurer. So I'm impressed with her so far. Most of them have me. We also, the reflections, we sent out all, either I sent them out or I personally delivered them to all the schools. And Emily Fleming is in charge of that again this year. She did an amazing job last year. So we're talking that up, and if they don't have an art teacher, we're going at the other app, music and, videos and art and stuff like that. So, the other one is Julia Cook. I contacted her through Facebook. We were gonna try to do it in December, but, the fundraisers haven't brought enough money in. So nobody's real sure how much money they're gonna have to pay for her visit. But I'd like to try to make it so that she gets up to like the Twin Cities, that's elementary, and the Lakewood School District over there too. But we've moved that out to spring. So my newest it's kind of near and dear to my heart. Julie Barnett is publishing books. And so I think that what our board would like to do is kind of showcase her for this year and see if we can help her get some of her books. So they are on Amazon, but as her as a teacher, obviously we won't promote the selling of the items, but we want to have her know that she is a author and she is one of ours. So that's it.
Thank you, Debbie.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Next up, we have our Whatcom Health Department and Cascadia Youth Mental Health PLLC Memorandum of Understanding. And we'd like to welcome Carrie Helgeson, our Director of Equity and Student Wellbeing, who's on Zoom to help present this wonderful MOU.
All right, thank you. Good evening. So here I'm going to present a project / opportunity that we are hoping to be a part of. So after I give information about this, then I'll be asking for approval of this MOU between the Arlington School District, Whatcom County Department of Health, and Cascadia Youth Mental Health PLLC. So I'm going to share my screen, and I'm hoping, Debbie, I have permission on that.
We might not be able to hear you over the noise of the rain, Carrie. I don't know what.
I know it's that way here too. It's like a downpour. Yeah. So can you guys see my slideshow? Can you guys see that?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I was waiting for a head nod, but I didn't see one. So, all right. So this is a project that came my way sometime in the summer months, and I can't even remember how I connected with it, but it was one of those emails that reached out to me, and so I reached out to them. So basically, the purpose of this project is to really evaluate our current substance use discipline practices and determine their alignment with research-based best practices related to youth substance use. So really looking at how are we responding when students are getting caught with vapes or marijuana or alcohol, and is that in alignment with research best practices? So what it includes is staff surveys, parent community surveys, administrator surveys, and then an assessment of our past survey data. So that data that I share with the board and others about in-school suspensions, out-of-school suspensions, expulsions, and then also a review of our current practices with our policy and procedures. So the consultant that works for Cascadia Youth will gather all of that information, and it takes about 3 months, and I'll share the timeline with you. And then what we receive as a result of that is feedback and recommendations to assist schools in addressing substance use, maybe in a different way, or a pat on the back on how we're currently addressing that. But what I like about it is that it individualizes each building. So the surveys that go out to, say, the staff and the administrators and the parents are specific to a building. And it's not just but we also get a district-wide feedback, but then each administrator gets their own feedback as well. So the timeline starts as soon as we approve this MOU, and we first identify schools and point of contact. So we've already identified the schools as a preliminary. So all of our secondary schools, Post, middle school, Haller, Weston High School, Arlington High School, as well as our middle schoolers at SVLC. So all of those principals are on board. I would be the district point of contact. And then once we have that, then she'll send the discipline surveys to school staff and parents. And like I said, each building will get a survey, but they'll have a different survey link. And that's how she gathers the individualized building information. And then one thing she likes to see is the student handbook, to see what we are sharing with our community and how we are, that discipline protocol and all of that. And then we also would share our past healthy use survey and discipline data on suspensions and expulsions. And then once she has all of that, she organizes and analyzes the data and then completes the school procedure and practice review. So that all happens in kind of the fallish months going into January. And then from there, the consultant would develop a 2-page personalized school discipline feedback report for each school. She would, the consultant and myself would meet virtually one time to review the feedback report. All of this is done virtually. She wouldn't come out and visit the schools. That's a cost savings for her, is to be able to just do it through Zoom. And then she would prepare and facilitate up to 1 virtual meeting with the secondary administrative teams to review the feedback and refine the menu of recommendations focused on substance use feedback. So it'd be recommended for each building, personalized for each building based on what she gathers. And then the consultant would create a district-wide action plan summary document and share with leadership. So that's what she would share as a district overview with us. I would share that with the board and the district leadership team. And then she would create a brief summary report and toolkit resources for school to support implementation. And one other thing that I talked to her about is that what she will recommend is not a program. It is more, what can we do right now with what resources we already have? And just to look at things maybe outside of the box or differently than what we've have done in the past. So then that would take us through about May-ish. And then the nice thing about this that we'll like to see is that there's no cost to the school district. The the funding comes through the Youth Cannabis and Commercial Tobacco Prevention Program. And then they're just, the Cascadia Youth is the consultants with that. And that's all funded through the Washington State Department of Health. Any questions? So let's give a brief overview of the project.
Question.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I
Yeah,
can.
Why Whatcom County and not Snohomish County?
These are all, I think Cascadia Youth is located in Whatcom County, and any school district that is associated with the Northwest ESD 189 is available to tap into this opportunity.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Wish as a student advisor.
I think this is a good
Comment?
idea, honestly. Like, I especially think it would be good for the high school because I definitely do. I'm only there for one class, but I do notice it. It's quite obvious when there are things happening. I'm excited to see this in action and I hope there's a change, especially it's sad to hear that the middle schools go through it as well. But I think getting this up and off the ground would potentially prevent the middle schools going through that and then maybe also help have it not be a problem in the high school. But I'm happy to see that there's something going towards that problem because it is always unfortunate when students go down that hill.
What I like about it is all of the work that we've been doing with Stille Valley Health Connections and Snohomish County Health Department on substance use and prevention and intervention. Well, we at least now we will have recommendations from a research-based consultant instead of us just kind of guessing what we need. Now we'll have an actual recommendation from what's best practice. So.
Any further questions? Director Knapp, anything?
It looks great. I think it's awesome. It doesn't cost us anymore and it's helping students to become their healthiest selves. So thank you, Carrie.
Yeah, you're welcome.
This is an action item. Do we have a motion to approve the memorandum of understanding with Whatcom Health Department and Cascadia Youth Mental Health, DLLC?
I move that we approve the MOU with Whatcom County Department and Cascadia Youth Mental Health PLLC as presented.
I'll second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded to approve the MOU with the Whatcom Health Department and Cascadia Youth Mental Health. Madam Clerk.
Director Ray,
Aye.
Director Kingman.
Aye.
President Levesque,
Aye.
Director Knapp.
Aye.
Thank you. Yeah, wonderful.
All right,
Next
thank you.
up- Thank you, Karen. Thanks for being here with us tonight and staying dry. The next up is our unemployment compensation insurance program review. And that will be given to us by Gina Zutenhorst, our Executive Director of Financial Services. I think she's on Zoom. Gina, are you with us?
Yeah, she's got. Or is that?
I think Gina's pushing the button.
Hello, sorry about
Hello.
that. Yeah, got my presentation up to share with you. This board agenda item is to comply with board policy 6530 on insurance, and it says that the board is going to review or look at the unemployment compensation program of the district on an annual basis. So that is why I'm here today to share that with you. I'm trying to move my presentation forward and it's not going. There. So yeah, just a little bit of quick background. The Arlington Public Schools has been a member of this Northwest ESD 189 unemployment compensation pool. It's a pool, it's cooperative. We've been part of that since 1978. And the pool is, what is this organization? It is a public entity risk pool for unemployment insurance. And the way it works is that claims against the district are paid by the Washington State Department of Employment Security. And then the WSDES, they get reimbursed for those claims by the pool for all the claims they pay on our behalf. And this program fulfills the district's unemployment insurance obligation. And I'll show you some numbers from the annual. They report out to us on an annual basis. We put the information in our notes to the financial statements as well. But the numbers have proven to be financially and administratively efficient. The bit about the membership, it includes 27 member school districts from Island County, San Juan County, Skagit County, Snohomish, and Whatcom counties. And they are audited by the state auditor's office every year. And they are also, they utilize Price Waterhouse Cooper, which is a big CPA firm that performs actuarial and solvency assessments on them. And then a quick summary of operations. Since the inception of the pool participation for Arlington, it has an estimate that we have saved $1.7 million as being a part of that since its inception, 1978 to August 31st, 2022, which is what the financial statements for them go through. And then for the pool as a whole, $53 million in estimated savings. So that equates to a net favorable experience for Arlington. And for just 1 year in isolation, we have a net favorable experience of $448,000, which is a savings we experience from being part of this pool and the way that we pay into that pool for them to process claims to WDES. What have we had to pay into the pool for the past 5 years? Well, for many years, we did not have to pay anything into the pool. But come along to 2020, 2021, and a pandemic was happening. And we did have to make an annual assessment into the pool as well as a mid-year assessment because of the statewide economy, what was happening at that time. So it caused a one-time charge to districts in response to that. And then our assessment that we've paid in for 21-22 is $32,000. And that's basically just to be able to maintain appropriate levels of financing in that pool to service claims that would be potentially coming. And then the amount of claims that have actually been paid by the pool for Arlington specifically for the past 5 years is also on this slide. And for 21-22, it was 5,600. Then how do they do their rates and reserves? It's all according to the memorandum of and the cooperative agreement, but the pool rates are based on 5-year 100% experience rate model, and then individual district loss rate compared to overall pool loss rate and value driven by claims. So assessment coming up for 22-23 is 18,000. And then capital reserves are also maintained by each district with the pool, and they're based on each district's taxable wages. So again, financial impacts, the estimated contribution, if we had been paying into the state fund, like a rate of insurance, it would be 2.5 million. But because we've been part of the pool since 1978, the savings that we've been able to experience is 1.7 million. So the pool is considered a wise business solution for unemployment insurance, both financially and administratively. And that is our annual report. Meets the obligation of the policy.
Any questions? No. Director Ray, do you have any questions for us on Zoom?
No questions. I'm pretty familiar with it. Thank you.
Thank you, Gina, for giving us that great report. Next up, we'll have our resolution 2311, granting the superintendent authority to enter into interlocal cooperative and other service provider agreements for students with special needs. Dr. Sweeting.
And I think, Brenda, thank you. So this is not really a new resolution. I mean, it is new, but it's based on a resolution that was passed in 2007. So it's resolution 0707. And in practice, what this is that it kind of bypasses the board for certain agreements that are interlocal agreements to support students with special needs. And there was reasons for giving the superintendent authority to do that. First of all, when students come into the district and they have the special needs, they need to be connected to those needs right away and those services. We can't wait for the next board meeting or such. And the documents also that we would have to present to the board for those contractual services would have student names in them. And the names are there because we also seek, usually these kinds of services are in addition, they're more costly. And so we seek safety net funding reimbursement, which needs to have the student's name. So it's been those two reasons. So I felt like this, I have been granting these, but it's more than just here. It's in the original, it said interlocal cooperative agreements, and it didn't have that and other service providers, like in the first sentence there. So that phrase and other service providers has been added because we've had, besides just interlocal agreements with other schools, we have other private the organizations that we have to contract with, such as Overlake Hospital. We also have had on rare occasions, some out-of-state, placements. So just a variety. And so this is a new resolution, basically just few changes to enhance it so that it says all the services that we need to. So questions for the board?
Director Ray, do you have any questions?
No questions.
Any other questions?
Before this resolution, would it have to go to the board?
No,
What happens? Oh,
I was approving them, but
they're just-
and I was using the 0707, but as are the need to have more specialized services, and it was beyond just other school districts. I just felt we needed to be very transparent and update. And the board that approved 0707 is obviously not with us right now,
Right.
so
I was thinking before the 0707, what happened before?
I'm not sure.
Okay,
Sure.
it was still happening, but without a resolution possibly? Okay.
Possibly,
I was just
according
curious.
to our operational pattern and what we say in our policy 1400, we bring interlocal agreements to the board for approval. They typically go to the consent agenda. But that's, in this case, these are individual, in most cases, individual students. And so just that's before, and then this is an action for the board to consider.
Are there any further questions? So do we have a motion to approve resolution 2311?
Yes, we do. I move to approve resolution 2311.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve resolution 2311, granting the superintendent authority to enter into interlocal, cooperative, and other service provider agreements for students with special needs. Madam Clerk?
Director Ray?
Aye.
Director Kingman?
Aye.
President Levesque? Aye. Director Knapp?
Aye.
Thank you. The resolution passes. Next up, we'll have our last item of new business, our joint agency grant, pickleball courts. Dr. Sweeney.
Okay, so we have an opportunity for a interagency or organizational opportunity, a grant with the Snohomish County and with the city of Arlington and with ourselves. And it's similar to the contract or the partnership we have with the garden. And so if you know, out in front of the district office, we have a garden. Well, the land where the garden is, where it's planted is district property. But the city actually takes care of that. They put up, they do all the weeding, they cut the grass, they actually put the arbors there and such. So this particular partnership would have 3 partners. And so the funding would be primarily the funding would come from the county and from the city. They would pay for the courts to be put up and to be maintained as well. And so I don't have a picture of it right here, but to the east of the Howler, east of Howler to the side of Howler, there's a pretty good space there that could have up to maybe 8 courts. And so that's where the pickleball courts would be. And I just wanted to give you some facts about pickleball. So pickleball was created in 1965 on Bainbridge Island, Washington, in the home of Joel Pickard. And it's just amazing and fascinating that in that short period of time, it's become not just locally well-known, but nationally. And so it's an opportunity that we were approached about, and I think it's a good thing for the community. And with some of the questions that we had as a school system was, when would the pickleball courts be open to the public? And they would be outside of school hours, because we wouldn't want to have that interference of other adults coming onto the school grounds. And we also felt that it would be wise to have a fence around it, so we discussed that. This is not an action item tonight. We're just talking about it, so you know that this talk is in the works.
It's inside the fence line.
It will be. Well, there'll be a fence put around it. There's the spot right there, the spot that we're thinking of, there's not a fence there right now. That we're considering having a fence. We actually had a meeting with city and with Nate Nearing, who is for the councilman for the Snohomish County. And so in the future, I would be bringing in MOU between the other two partners. And so I just wanted to have a heads up on that. And if you have any.
So the east is that where gravel is right now, or is that where
It's a platform. I
that's
know,
where the
but if
platform is
I,
between, like the old high school and,
yeah, for
Between the gym and Silicon Valley.
okay. Trying to picture. Would we be responsible for insuring it?
well, I would be, it's on our property,
Yeah.
so we would,
Okay.
we would be insuring, I mean, it's part of our
Yeah.
property. And the other good thing is that our students will be able to use the pickleball
Mhm.
court during the day. We're
able to have a pickleball team.
yeah,
Mhm.
one of the questions and wonderings we had is, what about the other middle school? Because we're always trying to look for ways to, equalize things or provide equity. And we just, in anticipation of a bond going forward, if we were, we didn't want to tear down something after the bond is, the voters do it, we would do and approve the bond in the future. However, I did hear from the county after that and from the city that, at that time, we could get another grant. We would look at the balls, of course, if there's space, and I think there would be space as well. If it's, the popular thing at that time. So, and I didn't see this in my looking into what pickleball is, but I think that Debbie Montgomery told me, and I was trying to find it in here, that if you play pickleball, you're a pickler. But I also found that shortly after this game was invented here in Washington, that some of the inventors and their friends brought pickleball to Hawaii, and they call it hookah-ball.
Any questions about pickleball? Have you ever played pickleball?
I have, yes, in middle school. I played it for almost a week straight. I enjoy it. It's very fun.
If you get skunked, you can pickle.
Oh. I don't think I want to get skunked.
Dr. Sweeting?
Yes,
Well, I'm sorry if I missed. What's the financial obligation to the district for this, do you expect?
we provide the land, just like we do for the garden. So they put the courts in, they maintain the courts. Correct, Brian was in the meeting with me. Our financial obligation is really the land, we're providing that land.
Understood. So a land that we're not currently really have value or purpose for anything else, but no line item budget increase, no specific monies allocated to maintain or and so ever construct anything there.
No,
Excellent. Thank you.
Good question. Anything else? All right, that wraps up our new business portion of our meeting. Next up, we'll have our informational items. We'll start with our superintendent's report, Dr. Sweeting.
so we had a great football game on Friday night where it was 42-14, and it was youth night, so we had a lot of young football players and cheerleaders, and it was very exciting. The Stilly Cup is this next week in Stanwood, so it's an away game, but it's not too far to go to. This last weekend, we had our Stronger Together. That was spectacular, and a joint effort between ourselves and the city of Arlington, Lakewood School District, Darrington School District, the Snoqualmie and our own flight, which both Mariska and Nathan are part of flight. They came and they sang, and it was beautiful. The only thing that was hard is that they only did 2 songs, and I just wanted them to keep singing. And it was like a, a preview or an appetizer to what we want to hear more of. It was wonderful. And then I wanted to, and also our new choir teacher, Kendrick Weaver, was there leading the charge, and I really appreciate and thank him for jumping on board so quickly as a new teacher and person to get involved and make that happen. This Saturday, September 30th, is Orange Shirt Day, and I just want to acknowledge that this on Friday. We'll put something on the website in this communities in the US and Canada. We look to this day to acknowledge that Indian residential schools really were a part of our history, and that the wearing of orange is a national movement, and it's to recognize the experience of those who went to Indian residential schools, and to honor them and to show our collective commitment to ensure that every student does matter. And the orange shirt is really a symbol that started as a result of a student that was the first day of going into a residential school. They took their clothes away, all their personal belongings, and one of those was her orange shirt that she loved. And so that's why the orange shirt, that's what the symbolism is of that. So my last statement for tonight is that all students here in Arlington matter, and all students belong and learn in Arlington.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Next up, we have our legislative update and discussion. And I know Sherry went under the weather today, and she attended a legislative conference. Can't remember what it's called, General Assembly or something. And so she has some words that she wanted us to share on her behalf. So if you want to bear with me. Sherry wanted to share that she attended the WASDA General Assembly. She would say that she preferred last year's assembly where we were all remote via Zoom. She liked it better. It would almost felt a little bit inequitable, thinking that some people were there in person because they had the funds or the wherewithal to be there for the General Assembly. The majority of the attendees were online. The very first consideration was a change to the bylaws, which had to do with weighted voting. It got a little contentious, and it took probably close to 2 to 3 hours before we actually took a vote and decided that we will no longer do weighted voting. Director Kelly chose to eliminate weighted voting because she felt that medium and small districts needed more of a voice, and that it was better represented as 1-for-1, 1 district, 1 vote. So that's what she wanted to share. Glad she was able to attend. I know we have some legislators visiting, and I'm sure she would want to talk about that we've got some of them on the calendar.
Yeah, we do have on the school visits. We've had, I know, three that have answered the call to come and visit schools with us, visits, which we have one tomorrow.
Which brings us to our comments from board members. We'll start with Mariska.
I think my biggest thing since I've seen you all last has been the Stronger Together event. It was really fun just to see all our supporters out there and cheering for us, singing our 2 songs. And shout out to Mr. Weaver, our new choir director. He's been doing a fabulous job. And on behalf of the whole choir, I think I speak for everyone when we say we're so excited to have him as our teacher. Like, since the interviews that had happened in the summer, we've all been like keeping our fingers crossed and saying, we want this one, because he was just so fun in his interview and he showed great promise. So we're very grateful to have him as our new choir director. I think that's it from me. Enjoy the weather as much as you can, even though it's rainy, but it's fall, so I'm very happy about that. Yeah, that's all I can share for now. Thank you.
Director Ray, would you like to share any comments this evening?
No comments, thank you.
Director Kingman, any thoughts?
I have no comments.
Director Knapp?
Yeah, just a little bit about, it was raining today, but I still saw our awesome maintenance crew out trimming the bushes and with the leaf blower, and I thought that I was very grateful for that. I know that they're used to it, but I like the rain. I like being out in the rain too. So And then the Stronger Together event was amazing. I was there, leading a little project for students or anyone of any age, making bookmarks, showing them how to paint sumi. So it was really awesome to see a lot of our students there and listen to the flight. I was also sad. I was like, 2 songs? Leave it, what? But the speaker, Brady Black, was amazing. And then listening to the Stillaguamish tribe at the opening and the end. So that was great. And congratulations to Brenda. The thing that stood out to me was how she inspired teachers and students, and just what a lasting impact on so many students learning in the district. It kind of blew me away listening to the words that were written about her. So thank you, Brenda.
Thank you, Director Knapp. I also got to attend the Stronger Together for a little bit in between things on Saturday, and it was lovely. I wish more people would have been there. I think the rain kept them away, but I think it's a beautiful thing our community does, that when we have that partnership with all of our different agencies and groups and try to teach and share and grow kindness and respect. I also got to go to the football game on Friday, and I'm just there to watch the band because I have a band kid and there's some football to go with it. But the football players were pretty darn awesome. And that was the 3rd game I've been to, and they've won by such a ginormous margin every time. I'm now kind of like, wow, if we can be this great at the beginning of the season, I hope we can make it last and like go all the way. So it's been such a positive start to the year, and I've just heard so many great things from so many families and teachers about how there's this new positive energy, and this new school year just feels right, and just very encouraging after all the things that we've been through, that this year is going the right way, and I hope it continues to go the right way. So oh, and Director Knapp, do you have anything else you'd like to say?
It was in the margin. I wrote it sideways. I wanted to say thank you for mentioning Orange Shirt Day. We've been recognizing that for a few years just within our family. And I know that, I have just kind of had conversations throughout the district about it. And I really feel like it was important to mention it at a board meeting and put it on the website. And so thank you very much for doing that.
Thank you. I want to take an opportunity to remind everybody about the next meeting that we have. It's not been for a little bit. You have next Monday off. Next meeting is October 9th. A regular board meeting is here in the boardroom at 6 o'clock. Is there anything else that we need to discuss? Or can we have a motion for adjournment?
I move that we adjourn the meeting.
I'll second. It's been moved and seconded to adjourn the meeting. Madam Clerk.
Director May,
Aye.
Director Kingman.
Aye.
President Levesque,
Aye.
Director Knapp.
Thank you. Meeting is adjourned. Drive safe.